It's exciting times. We actually have competition on defense, guys. It's incredible. Speaking of incredible, well, that was so much ego. I don't care. It's just the truth. You know it is. You're here watching it, and I'm here speaking it. What? R8RBEAR! Oh, there's so much. Trust me, there's so much to discuss. Aww. I love you, girl. Love the Hansons. What's up, Robert? What's up, Trish? Oh, imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair, that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! What? Woo! The R8RBEAR! Some chump calls himself Rombo, trying to bite my stuff, trying to copy my show. What's worse, he does a Niner show. He should be ashamed of himself. I can't even believe that guy still broadcasts. I don't know if he really does. I think he might be. This show sucks. You can't just rip off what I do, okay? If I make the baby, I'm still its daddy, no matter where you take it off to. That being said, don't bite people's stuff. That bugs the shut your mouth out of me. Look what I'm rocking tonight. Oh, rocking Raider Wolf tonight. Tuscan Raider. All right. No, we're going to talk about football, I swear. I did not just impersonate a Tuscan Raider. Don't tell anyone I did that because I'll just deny it. Don't do that. Star Wars nerds know what I'm talking about. I mean, dude, we got a battle at defensive tackle. We got a battle at just safety, wide receiver, running back, linebacker. What's going on at linebacker? I had to hear the gong tonight. I love the gong. I just wanted to hear the gong tonight. All right, so speaking of gongs, let me move my little cursor up there like this and then say, Tradish! R8RBEAR Live. First comment, woo! MVP tonight goes to the gold medalist, the #1 winner, El Jefe, Carlos Boykins. Carlos, what are you doing messing around here winning a gold medal? You don't win gold medals. What are you doing here? What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Looking good. Whew. Second place by silver medal. Dustin K. Dustin, what are you letting a guy? Carlos Boykins is a rookie to the medal round, okay? He's still, getting the green out of the back of his ears. That didn't make any sense. He's like really green, like a rookie. Anyway, but you can't lose a gold to that guy. Not that guy. Third, Josh Harrison, the heavyweight champion of the world. Down in the basement tonight. Josh, what are you doing, man? Cover your face. There may be paparazzi. We can't have them seeing that. You got beat by Carlos Boykins. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you contributing to my humor tonight. Much love. And welcome to the show, everyone. And just real quick, honorable mention to Jim Vanderlyn on YouTube. Bear! Tony, make it dip. What's up, Tony? And Bob. No, you don't get the whole thing, Bob Standard. Okay. I wanted to because you're my friend. Okay. I was going to give you the Bob, really build it. No. Plus, you're a Braves fan. That's all that. No, I'm kidding. I love that guy. Mike Henderson, what's up? Welcome to the show. Steven Shaw and Diaz Brincon, my first supporter ever. What's up, love? Welcome to the show. And remember, consider a subscription to R8RBEAR family page. It's just $5 a month and you can cancel it anytime, but you won't want to when you find out all the sorts of things that we do all over the world to help those people in need. We work with Puns for Autism. We also work with St. Jude's and early onset cancer. We're doing a lot of work with them. I kind of stopped talking about that because they have been sending me my stats sheet. They used to send me a stat sheet and it would say like how many kids that we did this with and how many kids we were able to do that with. And they just didn't send it to me. So I can't really say, but I know we were doing real well with them. I know as early as 2 months ago, we had something in the neighborhood of like $6,000 already raised for this year. And then it stopped. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's going well. I just don't know what's going on with it. And let's see. Also, the Kind Fund, Kids in Need of Desks. We're kind of legendary on that one because the very first time we got involved with kids in need of desks, we contributed and promised we would get 13 kids in school. We got 28. And so, yeah, we did good things with that. Todd ECV, good times. Benzel, woo! Foots in them. The only thing I'm putting foots in is the Broncos, okay? And Sean Payton. Oh, the Broncos are back. Look at Sean Payton. Womp, womp. You still got Russell Wilson, chump. Okay, dangerous, only to himself. At this point in his career, he's done. Okay, what? See, have you noticed that people have been saying, is Russell Wilson washed up? Or is Russell Wilson not washed up? And he still has a little gas in the tank. If we're even asking that question, you know what the answer is. Put it, foots in him, and it's true. Okay, you might as well be a car wash. Washed, up and down, washed. The guy's collecting paychecks at this point. And for Sean Payton to come in and say that, to me, is just more proof that that guy's an assassin. He's coming in. He acts like that dude that used to coach for the Florida Gators, and then he went to the Buckeyes, and he's just a dirtbag. He just goes where he can collect a check off name recognition from the reputation he built off of Tim Tebow and the championships he won there. God bless Tim Tebow. He might have sucked as a pro, but he was a good dude. You know what I mean? He didn't deserve to have a coach that just wasted his life. We're going to talk about the Raiders. We really are. We're going to talk about the Raiders. I swear, we're going to do that. Now, there's a great story going around, and you can find it on the Raiders website. It's just, Raiders.com. But Michael Mayer was telling a great story about the fact that he came into his first day in practice, and he was really excited, to get in there with the guys and, show the big boys that, he could play big boy football just like they do. So, they went out to practice, and then you call one of those plays where you say to yourself, okay, well, we're going to make Michael Mayer block on this play. We're going to call a pass play and then, call him in and make him block on this play. And so he would come in, and then Max Crosby proceeded to destroy him. I mean, just what Max Crosby just wiped him up. Wiped him up, beat him down, just embarrassed the man. And he was smiling ear to ear about it. And I love that about him and about men as athletes. You know what I mean? I can remember many times competing and practicing with other athletes. And there was nothing better when you were getting your butt just taxed, you know what I mean, by somebody, and they're just really giving it to you, especially in basketball. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, I'd run into one of those guys that would, they could go left or right in just a blink of an eye. And I'm going, all right, man, come on. I just want to play basketball, man. You ain't got to be and one in me out here. But he was destroying Michael Mayer. I mean, taking him to work. Now, since he has improved and he is getting better, and he credits Michael Mayer credits Max Crosby with all of that, and talked about the fact that he's just another level. And that was his words. And I was very impressed by that. He could have just said he's a great pro. He could have just said all the hype about him is true. He went into his bag, mentally and said, you know what? That guy is for real. He's another level. I mean, and I thought I was going to put hands on him and, show these guys I can block. I didn't mean to imply that I was going to dominate Max Crosby, but, he basically said I didn't mean to dominate, that I was going to dominate him, but I just thought I'd hold my own. Now, since he has gotten better, we're really talking about day one. We're going back to the Niners, you know what I mean? So, day one of camp days there where he was really first cutting his teeth and they put Max Crosby on him. Boy, Max put that thing on him. He came out of it like, damn. And I thought that was a fantastic story. All right, so we're getting close to cut down days, and there's going to be a lot of interesting names that we have to discuss. And don't get me wrong, you can go to any one of these other sites or one of these other shows, and they're going to have lists for you and names for you and all that nonsense. I try not to do that, you know what I mean? Because again, it's just the same stuff they do. I try to do what I do, and that is investigate, these things, investigate players, the situation, who's playing the best, who's showing what in camp, who differentiates themselves, but not just on the field. In other words, who's an undrafted free agent that's out playing someone on the field and yet won't get the job, even though Dave Ziegler just spent a little while saying, and I quote, the men who work the hardest and show the most on the field are going to be the men that win the jobs. I don't see that. I don't see that. And in the case of Drake Thomas, that's exactly who I'm talking about. The middle linebacker from NC State. And I think he's going to get axed. I really do. I don't think he's going to make the squad. And I really want him to. There are those that are saying quietly that he's outplaying Amari Burney. And Amari Burney is one of those last guys, of the linebackers that you're going to keep. As it stands, you have Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane, Luke Masterson. There's one more guy that will come to me. And then you're going with the rest of the extra guys there. It's one, maybe two linebackers after that. And so you got to wonder if he's going to make a spot. But in both preseason games, the Niner game and the Ram game, Thomas finished again with a Pro Football Focus of 90.3. I think when he was in college, it was 90.5. So it went down slightly. That's a bad man. I dig that guy. I really do. I dig that kid. I just think there's something special there. I think that we should look at him hard and consider him. I don't think it's going to happen though. I just got to be honest with you. I just think that I want to like say it in the hopes that I'll speak it into fruition. But I don't think it's going to happen. Drake Thomas is real nice. Number 57, but he's only 5'11". He's only 223 pounds. But regardless of that, he's a little tackling Wolverine, and he gets the job done. And in my opinion, he's outplaying a lot of the linebackers on this team in the second half of games when he gets in. He's a beast. But I don't think he's going to make the team. And then also defensive tackle, there's some stuff we have to talk about there too. A lot of competition there. Anthony Lopez, what's up? Welcome to the show, A-Lo. Jerry Molina, what's up? Welcome to the show. Chris Strong, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the love to myself and the Cubs and everyone. Troy Gill, I see you there. Doc Raider, what's up, Doc Raider? Travis Kelly, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Dead Tin Road said, rest in peace, wrestling legend and friend, former NWA world champion. Right on, brother. Let's see. Dale Thacker, what's up, Bear? To hell with them Cowboys. Dale Thacker, honestly, I don't like the Cowboys this year. I really don't. I don't like the Cowboys this year. Remember, the fact that they lost their offensive coordinator is they're gonna pay a little bit of a tax in their win and loss record over the fact that they let Kellen Winslow go. That guy can call a game. Now, he may not have been, I'm not saying he's the best play caller. I'm not saying he's top five, none of that kind of stuff. I'm just simply saying the guy knew the personnel. He was a good play caller. That offense moved. It wasn't about the offense until It was about the offense. And then by that, I mean, put foots in him, okay? Dak Prescott. I don't know who originally told me to put foots in someone, but he got me all fired up now. So now I'm going down my list of dudes that need to get foots put in them, especially that kid with the Chargers. I'm getting a little fed up with him. Okay, he broke some rookie records when he came into the league. He's got his pretty blonde hair and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But no, okay, we need to smash that kid. I just want to see our guys smash the boy, like as Khabib Nagamanagawaga. I can't say it. Bear, I'm getting another Raider tattoo. Nice. Bob Sanders, stop screwing around. You're going to have more than me, and then I'll have to go get another one. John LaJoy, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Raider Speedy. What's up, Raider Speedy? Welcome to the show, brother. It's good to see you. I got to finally meet Raider Speedy and hang out with him, and he is as cool as he seems. Steeler Val said, hi, Mr. Raider Bear. Oh, that must be Tommy. He always shows me so much respect. Me and Mommy are here, your favorite Eagle and Raider fan and your favorite Steeler fan. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the show. John the Lion Leon says, it seems like McDaniels and Ziegler know what they're doing. John, John, we have to remember how bad last season looked. And when I say how bad, I'm going to talk about just two things specifically. Personnel decisions as far as who's playing, who's on the field, who's starting. And when I say who's on the field, I mean who's on the field on a given play, i.e., if it's 3rd and 2 and you have a healthy Josh Jacobs and he's not on the field running the ball, it's a bad call. You know what I mean? And I mean, I can understand if maybe you don't want to try for 2 because the other team's defense is good with the running game. Fine, then split Josh Jacobs out into the flat, hit him with the bubble screen, let him shake a guy, and then put his foot in someone's chest and walk it dry. Woo! You know he would, and yet we saw 3rd downs where Josh wasn't on the field. And so that's just a personnel decision that's just bad. And so we'll see. We need to see what he does this year. And I want to make this clear, too, with everything I just said. We don't know for sure why that was. In other words, was that a part of the tanking to get a better draft fix? Was that a part of the trying to get over Derek Carr and whether or not you wanted to keep him on this roster or not? We'll never know the truth of that, no matter what you may think of it, no matter what you may hear, because remember, it was not Josh McDaniels that put the 1-year clause in Derek Carr's contract. It was Mark Davis that did that. So he was up against Mark Davis and Josh McDaniels and his offense. And Derek Carr balked. He balked a lot. And there were those that were calling him a prima donna at the end, and they're saying it even louder now. And that's not to get on Derek Carr. It's not fair to shoot a guy when he's left and he can't speak for himself. Not a Raider anymore. But I'm just being honest with you. There's more than one Raider voice that's saying, the guy was starting to act, kind of arrogant, like, this is my team and this is my place and I'm the captain and, this is how we do things. And you just, even if all that may be true, you can't get that way with a new coach who's trying to, make his mark on a team. You just can't do that. Miguel Garcia, what's up? 559 Fresno in the house. Todd ECV, good times. Benzel, what medal does 7th get? He gets the funny medal. That's the one he gets. Jason Morales, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. The whole thing with Bray Wyatt, Corinna Trujillo, I don't know what the story is. I just know it's tragically sad because the guy was so young. You know what I mean? So, and it just had nothing but his life ahead of him. And to pass away this quickly, it's just terrible. Bear, I'm on both as usual. At least I got the YouTube. Nice. What's the word on the streets with Jacobs coming back? Dustin King, I know they've been in talks, but when I found out they were in talks, we also found out that the Miami Dolphins were very aggressively, very out in the open, coming forward and saying, hey, what's up with Josh? You guys going to do something here? You guys want something for him? And the Josh McDaniels Raiders response, and I quote, was, he is not available. That was the exact language. Now, when you use language in these kind of PR things, trades, where things can put teams and their GMs and things like that and put their neck out there, potentially embarrass the other team, et cetera, you want to be careful how you word things. And so for them to say he's not available, 3 words, you know what I mean? And not available? Does that mean that he's not at the facility so you can't talk to him? Or does it mean he's not available because the Raiders are keeping him for sure? We can't say that's what it means. If it did, there'd be a deal done by now. Whenever you want to keep a guy, you keep a guy. You know what I mean? If you got to pay him what you got to pay him, you pay him. Now, there's all these factors about what he's worth and what he brings to the team and blah, 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 blah. But see, I gave you the analogy the other day. Jonathan Taylor, the star running back of the Colts, his situation and star running back of the Raiders, Josh Jacobs' situation are totally different. And it has nothing to do with their athleticism. It has nothing to do with their yards. Jonathan Taylor's a former rushing champion, okay, just before Josh Jacobs. So they are both rushing champions. So we're talking about equal footing here. But Jonathan Taylor doesn't have equal footing in the sense that the Colts are moving on. They are drastically rebuilding, and they're not hiding that fact. So paying a star running back to be good on a team that's going to be bad is pointless. So go ahead and look for a trade. You know what I mean? And they're not going to let him go for anything. If they still keep him, they can still just pay him peanuts. There's nothing he can do about it. He has no control over his contract. They just allowed him to seek a trade because they'd rather him do that than, get into this back and forth and start bad talking the team like Josh Jacobs has done. Not bad. I don't feel like Josh Jacobs has been that bad on the Raiders in the press, especially when he has a right to. He still hasn't been very, he hasn't been nasty. Let me say that. He said he's unhappy, things like that, but he's been cool about it. Put foots in our organization for continuing to lie to these reporters about offering Josh Jacobs a new contract. They know it's garbage, and they need to stop it. Alpha and Omega forever. I would say forever. I would say to you that there was some truth to it. I just think that they were never really close still. Does that make sense? In other words, I think they may have re-engaged and thought that if they came at it from a different angle verbally with him, that maybe, they could incentivize it to him a little bit better. The deal being, incentivize it to him that the deal's better than him not being out there. And I think they failed. But we don't know yet. We don't know yet. You know what I mean? I felt like the Dallas game would come, Dallas game would happen, and then he would be in there probably Monday or sometime after the Dallas game. John Leon said, I'd trade Josh. He's become a distraction. Our O-line is what makes our backs good. John Leon, no. It's a combination of both. We can't say that about Josh Jacobs. He's a great running back. A good line makes him look great. A fantastic line would make him look like a god. You know what I mean? The guy hits holes, and he does not hesitate. Everyone else we have does, except for Amir Abdullah, and sometimes he just hits the wrong hole and goes down after a 1.2 yard gain. You know what I mean? And I get what you're saying about the other backs, but it's just not true. Most of them are averaging anywhere from 3 yards to 3.5 yards a carry. That's not that good. Whereas Josh has been higher than that traditionally. So I would just rather see them get him back on the field and then deal with more contract stuff later on down the road. But I can't argue with you that he's been a distraction. He has. Michael A. Chandler Jr., Russell Wilson is that dusty DVD on the bottom of the bin at Walmart. Oh, man. Dale Thacker, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Michael A. Charlander, Bear! Appreciate the love. Let's see. I'm glad you're feeling better, Mr. R8RBEAR. Me and Mommy said a prayer for you. Aw. That's my guy right there. Love you, Tommy. You're a good dude. Ben Diesel, am I weird for not wanting Aiden O'Connell to play on the field this year? You're not weird for that, and we'll address that, but let's finish your comment. I really just want the guy to learn this year and not be thrown to the proverbial wolves from the get-go like we did with Carr. Ben Diesel, great profile pic, bro. You guys look great. I would say this, T-Bro, it's football. You know what I mean? In other words, sometimes when we think of a rookie, we get so caught up in, is he ready? Does he have the physique? Is he going to be, understand the offense? It's football, guys. It's football. We can sit here and keep going, the intricacies of blah, 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 of this offense and the West Coast this and the two-seam motion flex offense. It's football, guys. You know what I mean? For the most part, it's football. So I think that Aiden O'Connell has already demonstrated that he's ready. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But where I agree with you, Ben, is there's no point, though, in that, because if you let him go through just the regular rigors of an NFL season, at least through one season, I completely agree that at that point, he's really going to be chomping to play. He's going to really have had a full year of feeling the defense at practice and how fast the game can be, how, a guy like Max Crosby can be right in your face in seconds. And you have to know the offense and you have to make decisions. But his body type, I don't feel like him getting hit is going to get him hurt like it does with a lot of the average guys. He's a good sized guy. You know what I mean? And then he's, 6'2", 6'3", 215 pounds. And that's probably being nice. I'd probably say he's probably walking around 220, 225. So you don't have to worry about him losing too much weight and getting a little spindly and weak throughout the season. He's fairly, as a normal thing, a big guy, because you don't see muscles all over the guy. He's flexible. He's just a normal, burly guy. So I think he's going to do well regardless, but I think Garoppolo is going to give us good football. I really do. Matt Marinovich, Crosby and Jones are going to run wild over the Swiss cheese Broncos, the offensive line, and flatten Wilson. Matt Marinovich, I have no doubt. I think the Broncos are garbage. I really do. I think they're just garbage. Speaking of Tebow and the Florida Gators, I'm a Gator fan. Tebow is part of the reason I became a Gator fan. Just love Tim Tebow because he's a great Christian man. Okay, right on. Max is staying fire. Joe Redmond, there's no doubt about that. Tanamoku, what's up? Welcome to the show. Sean Paul Doney, what's up, Sean? Welcome to the show. Let's see. 17 days until our season opener. I have a bad feeling we're not going to have Jacobs this year. I think we could really do something if he's with us, but I doubt he will be. McIdiot should have paid him. The only reason I disagree with everyone that says that is because he can start getting fined once the season starts. And if he starts missing all the games, he's going to be paying a ton of money. And if the whole reason that you're holding out is because you're unhappy with how much money you're making, it doesn't stand to reason that you just give the money back. So I understand his standoff because even if it may be a distraction, he is between the end of his contract, no fifth-year option, and a franchise player tender contract on the table waiting for him to sign it. So see, technically he's in free agent limbo where he can't go anywhere. He has a contract. He has to sign it. It's binding. He's a Raider, but he can't play anywhere else. But, he may choose to just say, hey, I'm going to sign the thing. And then we'll play out the season how we play it out. And then we'll figure out what we figure out at the end of the year. And you just don't want a guy in the building all disgruntled like that. Alpha and Omega, I put your shout out up there. Joe Redmond, you think that Chandler Jones will be on the end or will he play middle? Joe Redmond, because of his incredible strength, this is an incredibly strong guy. There will be times where they'll want him to play in the interior so that they can get Tyrell Wilson out there on the edge. Excuse me. But I have a strong feeling, though, that that's going to be a limited thing that they're going to do because they like to play from the defensive tackles that we have in the building right now. The defensive tackle battle between guys like Butler. Oh, man, I actually had the list up here just a moment ago. And now I don't have it. Oh, what did I do with my list? Okay, hang on. Let me just grab this. Okay, so at the defensive tackle position, I just think that Nesca Jade Silvera's got to play well. If he's going to really retain a position with the team, he's got to play well. Jerry Tillery, who only got a handful of snaps when we brought him over out of free agency from the Chargers, played well immediately. So it's going to be tough to beat him out. John Jenkins, we got from the Dolphins. I just think he's going to be great for us. He's going to be a real run stuffer. The return of Neil Farrell Jr. And to be honest with you, even though Neil Farrell, was kind of like a on off, are you excited about the guy or are you not? He seems to be improving is what I think the exact words were about his bio that I was reading earlier today. Now, there's two Butlers. There's Matthew Butler and there's Adam Butler. Now, Matthew Butler is a Tennessee product. He's the guy I liked a lot because when he came out, he really owned the responsibility of, being a great player. And I loved his interviews. He was just really nice. Now, Adam Butler of Vanderbilt, I don't know him quite as well, but I know he's huge at 6'5", 300 pounds. And so I think that if he plays well, just plays solid, he could end up winning one of those last roster spots at defensive tackle, if for no other reason. Then he's got that run stuffer size that we're going to need alongside of Jenkins. You want to have at least two bulls like that, two at least 300-pounders, so that when they play that nose position, or if they go to a 4-3 and they have 4 down linemen and 2 defensive tackles, then you can have a pair of 300-pounders in there. Stop that run in the middle and then bring in those ends, bring in that nickel or that safety, and let them shore up the holes and stop the run completely. Anthony Contreras, what's up, Raider Bear? Hope you and the family are well. Keep up the great work. Much love. I appreciate that, man. Welcome again. Matt Marinovich, Bolden and Hayer need to be a cut and turned into coaches. The savings given to Jacobs to sign him now. Matt Marinovich, honestly, it doesn't have to be those guys, but yeah, I could see that. I would see it more with Hoyer, you know what I mean? Whereas with Bolden, I like him. I do. I like him. He's just young. He already knows our offense. You know what I mean? If you needed a guy in an emergency, he can fare, well. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go as far as say he's going to win games or anything, but, he's a decent backup. Okay, here we go. If we have a top-tier defense this season, we could put Foots in these queefs both games and compete for the AFC West. Alpha and Omega forever. I've already called it. I think, honestly, that we're sick and tired. I think we're sick and tired, honestly, of the Chiefs just walking all over the NFL. I do. And I think that we're starting to finally get the kind of personnel that could allow for us to go out there and take care of that. Because I think for the longest time, the biggest problem we had was that we just didn't have the personnel to go out there and play them the way we wanted to play them. And now that we do, and I do believe that we do, you know what I mean? I love the way, the only place I am still genuinely concerned is corner, because when you get past Duke Shelley and Dave Long, you're kind of thin. You know what I mean? You got Marcus Peters. I mean, don't get me wrong, because we've already moved on. Marcus Peters is going to start on one side. Now, whoever gets that second starting job, okay, that's that guy. And then what do you have? Maybe one more guy that you can really say, hey, that guy has experience. I can lean on him. We can't say Jacorian Bennett. I know we all love the rookie Jacorian Bennett. He's amazing, but pump the brakes. And he's a rookie. I love John Smith, the kid from Georgia. He's tough. He's gritty. He's smart. So we're not that bad. But I think Amik Robertson's finally going to get his walking papers because he's kind of been on the fence for years now. And I applaud him for the fact that he's fought and held a roster spot as long as he has. But it's time to get better than Amik Robertson. Mark Vargas, Bear, what's up, brother? Justin Herbert is overrated. It's just Philip Crybaby Rivers. Well, honestly, Ben Diesel, I would say not only is Justin Herbert overrated, but he did what we see all the time from these rookie quarterbacks. They come in the league, defensive coordinators don't know their tendencies, so they shock the league and they set all these rookie records. We watched Patrick Mahomes do it. We watched Dak Prescott do it. RG3 did it. Justin Herbert did it. We see all these guys. They come in and they have this explosive rookie season because nobody knows who they are. They don't know what kind of player they are. And so they can go out there and freewheel it and they kind of get away with things. I would argue, and Tommy, tell your mom to hold on. I don't want her to get mad at me. But we might see that from Kenny Pickett. I'm concerned. Now, Tommy, make sure you tell your mommy, though, that I was a very, very, very high on Kenny Pickett guy. I really liked Kenny Pickett. When he was out there, I kind of hoped we were going to pull the trigger. I think Kenny Pickett has a future. And even if he doesn't, and I mean this seriously, to me, he's one of those guys that if Pittsburgh gave up on him and thought he wasn't the guy, he would bounce back, end up somewhere else, and probably be pretty darn good. Basically what Baker Mayfield's trying to do and failing at miserably. God, I hate that guy. I mean, I literally hate that guy. I hate that guy. Put butts in him. No, I could finish the show talking about Baker Mayfield. Eric Bell, yeah. Again, I agree. Linebacker is going to be tough. But not if we stick with Drake Thomas. I'm going to speak it into fruition, Eric Bell. I don't know if you're familiar with the kid, but a thumping, awesome, run-stopping linebacker. And I love that kid. Consistently 90 plus in Pro Football Focus playing the run. Yeah, Eric, I do think our defense is going to be better. Alpha, she's in the other room. She's packing. She's getting ready to go on a little trip to visit her dad. I agree with Bendejo. Really wanted Jacobs. It would have happened by now. I also think that my M. Davis also could make it happen. Yeah, I agree. Not to mention, we have a couple of new signings we have to discuss real quick. Defensive tackle Doug Costin. And for Eric Bell and others that were concerned about the linebacker core, we also just signed Isaac Darkangelo. No, I did not make up that last name. Darkangelo.
I'm right here.
The Mama Bear. What's up, Mama Bear?
Who was saying hi?
No, not saying hi. It was Alpha and Omega Forever said, where Mama Bear at?
Hi, Alpha.
And
I
Omega.
like it. Alpha and Omega
Forever. Okay, so anyway,
I'm sorry I threw you off.
no, I was going to ask you if you could bring me a cup because Aubrielle was supposed to bring me a cup, and then she fell out of love for her daddy.
She had you all day.
She just let me go. So that's enough of that guy.
Yes.
No, I was talking about defensive tackle Doug Costin, and this guy. Look, tell him I'm telling the truth. Isaac Darkangelo.
Oh, I like that.
See, I didn't make it up.
That's an awesome last name to have
Yeah.
across his jersey.
But you have to say it like Isaac Darkangelo.
You
You got to get deep and kind of, dark with it.
That's awesome.
Darkangelo. Girls will be like, hey, what's wrong with you?
Just call
Okay.
him Dark Angelo.
If you call him Darkangelo.
This is Dark Angelo.
No, stop that. Stop seducing my audience. Okay, so, whoa, wrong one. Okay, there we go. Doug Costin originally entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent with the Jaguars in 2020. He appeared in 12 games, had 9 starts, and totaled 32 tackles, 12 solo, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 passes defended, 1 fumble recovery. He spent 2021 on their practice squad. He's a native of Westchester. Let's see here. I wanted to mention this because I thought this was important. Costin played in 50 career games for Miami of Ohio and posted 178 tackles, 32 and a half for a loss, and 4 sacks. He was named first team All-MAC as a senior in 2019. So he's got the chops. Now, my other guy, Isaac Darkangelo, is entering his rookie season in the NFL after playing 2 seasons at Illinois. He's 6'1", 230 pounds, so he's a little bit lighter. He was all Big Ten honorable mention as a senior. After playing in 13 games, he led his team with 71 tackles, and he added 7.5 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery. Now, real quick, one more interesting note. A native of Brighton, Michigan, Darkangelo began his collegiate career at Division II Northern Michigan. Before transferring to Illinois, he was named All-GLIAC football second team in 2019 after recording a 105 tackles in 10 games. 105 tackles in 10 games. So dude can play. I like these signings, but I'm curious about them this close to the cut down. We were talking about next Tuesday. You know what I mean? We're down to 53. If you're this close to your 53-man cut down and you're still looking at guys at the 2 spots that we had the most concern about, that worries me. It wasn't just defensive back that we had the most concern about. We were also mostly concerned about linebacker and defensive tackle. So what did we sign? Linebacker, defensive tackle. So that concerns me. And that guy Kualaga or whatever his name is, I always say his name terribly because he has a really strong Polynesian name. And it's dope, but I never know if I'm saying it right. So I constantly say it like I'm like vomiting words. Kanai M-A-U-G-A. Maga. Mawa. I don't know. Kanai Mawa. Anyway, I like him. I don't know why he keeps getting cut and re-signed and cut and re-signed. He's one of the few linebackers that we have that has any size. He's from USC. He's 6'2", and he's 245 pounds. That's a big boy. So I'd like to see him definitely make the roster. But again, we'll see. That's going to be a tough one. I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Peters is a great fit. I think he has gas left in the tank and will help the young backs. Joe Redmond, you're already hearing that in practice, that not only does he have gas left in the tank, but he's kind of taken over as far as the guys look up to him like, damn, that's what an all-pro defensive back looks like. And so the defensive back room has gotten a little bit of an attitude, and he's brought that to us, and I'm excited for that. No, Mama Bear don't feed the dogs junk. Trust me. She has one of those cylinders of like real dog food, like real food, they call them. And it's all real meat and all that stuff. We keep that stuff in the fridge for them. I'll admit it. I never did that ever in my life before I met that woman. I would always just buy dog food, dog food. But now it's so important to have fresh pet. We don't have exactly that one, but it's the same sort of thing. 602 Phoenix in the house. Mark Vargas, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. From what I heard, the offense has more confidence. I heard even breaking the huddle. Eric Bell, not only that, but Jimmy Garoppolo already is looking confident because he realizes that this offense is going to create open space. In other words, there's going to be plays where he's really throwing a not difficult throw to make. In other words, what's the last thing that Jimmy Garoppolo really wants to get down is the timing of his receivers. It's not cadence. It's not the checkdowns. It's not the blocking. He understands all that. He understands finding the mic and all those things. He can command the offensive line. None of that has to do with it. It all has to do with timing to the receivers and how much he has to put on the ball to either put it just behind them, like a back shoulder throw, or over the top where they have to run under it. Well, in this offense, it eliminates some of that. There's going to be times where Michael Mayer is just going to be running free across the middle of the field because they're going to match him up with the linebacker because they're going to show a look. And the offense of our Raiders is going to show a look. And that look is going to look like a run play to Josh Jacobs. Okay. So the defense will react with a defensive look. Okay. Like a 4-3 or a 3-4 that rushes the gaps. Okay. Now, once they do that and we show them run, we then audible on the play. Now we've got them stuck in a run formation where linebackers are going to have to pick up the extra people that go into the pattern as a result of it being a pass play. I'm educating you guys. Stay with me. So now when you've audibled from the run play to a pass play, it forces guys out of position to pick up a guy like Michael Mayer, who is physically faster than most of the linebackers that are going to pick him up. And you can create those mismatches, i.e., if the linebacker for the team you're facing is on the weak side, then you line up the play where Michael Mayer motions to the weak side. And then that linebacker has to pick him up, and then he runs him dry into the pattern, and then he gets a wide open pass. If it's the other way around, if it's the strong side, then you motion him to the strong side. And then once he motions to the strong side, he has to be picked up by the strong side linebacker. You run him dry, wide open throw. And all it takes is just angled, you know what I mean? And Jimmy Garoppolo just has to hit those angles. That's all. So it's going to be beautiful. Troy Gill, I do not think we should trade for Taylor just because you're giving away assets to get what you already have, a good running back. So if you really honor the running back position and we're really concerned about running back play, then you would be paying Josh Jacobs. But the reason that they're not concerned about running back play and not paying Josh Jacobs is because they feel like with a multi-back set that they can win. And it's hard to argue when you saw what we've seen in the last when you saw what we saw in the last two preseason games, it's hard to argue. I mean, he showed it with Amir Abdullah, Zamir White, and Brandon Bolden, that combination of guys can be rotated in and out. It eats up clock. You're grinding right, you're grinding left, little pass, grinding left, grind up the middle, delay pattern, throw here, throw there. Suddenly you're in the red zone. You run pass option, or you just go play action, and you got a guy running in up the middle like Brandon Bolden did just last weekend. And it works, guys, and it's like my guy, Leon was saying earlier, John Leon was saying earlier, we may have to rethink what we think about Josh McDaniels. If he's able to get a cohesive offense going this year, we can't blame the defense on him. He hired a defensive guy. That defensive guy is supposed to get this under control. And I do agree with that. So, and I do believe that. So if he gets the offense right and we're up there putting up 28, 34 a game, then that defense better keep us in where we're winning most of those games, period. And then also the offense can help with that by the fact that we can grind clock and we can keep the ball out of the other team's offensive hands. So that works too. Doc Raider, regardless of the season, taking Jacobs out on third and short was a moronic decision. Exactly. His not coming back. Raider Miguel, I think he's coming back. I do think we're keeping him, Eric. It's just about how much we're going to pay him. If we're not trading Josh Jacobs, not giving him a new contract, they're planning on letting him walk for nothing. Alpha and Omega, there is no universe I can see that happening. Not twice. It's one thing that you effed up the whole situation with Derek Carr, and you got nothing for a quality starting for a quality starting quarterback. You'd think a guy that talks for a living could talk better than I'm talking right now. Sorry. But you would think a team would get something for a perennial 9-year starter, but you got to get something for Josh Jacobs. Even if it's next to nothing, you got to get something. He's going to be a Raider. They're going to work something out. He'll come in. He'll sign his tender. And it'll probably be just like last year. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If he comes in and he signs his deal and then he slowly gets himself back into shape, are you going to put Amir Abdullah out there instead of him? Are you going to put Zamir White out there instead of Josh Jacobs? No, you're not really going to. So even though I think about this running back by committee, he'll just hold on to it again for another year and wear Josh Jacobs out. You know what I mean? Get the best he can get out of him. And then eventually they'll be right back to the, the drama and the bickering about who should get paid what and blah, 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 and whether we're keeping it. Joe Redmond said JJ keeps defenses honest. Joe Redmond, that's exactly right. And to be quite honest with you, I worry about Jimmy Garoppolo if we don't have a decent running game that can keep guys off of him. Because although I believe our offensive line has gotten significantly better, I really believe that, both by the different blocking scheme that we're bringing and the competition now that we have at right guard and right tackle, I feel like we're going to be really nice. If Greg Van Roten or Thayer Mumford, if Greg Van Roten wins the right guard and Thayer Munford wins right tackle, I'll be excited. I like Joel Elemenor a lot. But I think Thayer Menor, I think I'm saying his name wrong, but he's outplayed him a little bit this year, I think. I really do. I think Thayer Munford's been a little better. Eric Bell, although Zamir White looked good, he only averaged 3.1 yards a carry, I think it was. And more importantly, he needs rest. You cannot go back-to-back games with him like you can with Josh Jacobs because of his legs. He'll get tears. He'll get injured. I already got a cup from Mom.
You got two now.
No. Take that out of here. I'll give it later. I don't even have desk space for that. You're killing me. Poe, what's up, my little panda bear? What's up, man? Now he wants to hang out with Daddy.
No, he came all ready.
Look at him all bully, buff leg.
He came in all ready with legs.
All right. Although I agree about the distraction, John Leon, I think it was inevitable. Okay, let's see. Sean Paul Doney said, I'm feeling McDaniels is going for a more pass offense and has no concerns over JJ. I love Jacobs. Pay the man. He's a baller for sure. Yeah, exactly. And when you said pay the man, Sean, that reminds me of another point I was trying to make earlier, and I kind of stopped. Jonathan Taylor is on a team that's not ascending. Does that make sense? And so if you're on a team that's not ascending, it makes no sense to pay a guy max money when he's not going to take that team anywhere other than because that's where the Colts are going right now. They're not very good. So they just don't want to pay him for a couple years of, them being average, him hurting their stock in the draft and things like that, because he has statistically a good year, but they don't have a good win-loss record. So just Eric Bell, I don't think Adams is going to want out. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to hit him enough, and it's just going to look different. Everybody in your mind, when you see when you see Devontae Adams, you think of the deep 40-yard bomb. Just cut that in half. He's going to probably throw him stuff at 15 to 20 yards, somewhere there. That's going to be the equivalent of a bomb for Jimmy Garoppolo. But it's going to be on routes where Devontae Adams is going to be open because he's going to get one-on-one. He's going to give that little wiggle that he's so good at. I would say the only guy better at wiggle was Amari Cooper. And we all know Amari Cooper was a douche and a lot of, annoying other things, but the guy had the best get off in football. There was nothing else you could say. I mean, you could say he wasn't a tough guy. That's true. You could say he quit. You could say he was soft. All that's true. But you can't say he didn't have the best get off in football. I mean, the best get off in football. It was like watching The Flash. He had this just twitch quick, like a lightning bolt, just pow, 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 pow. And I would say Devontae Adams is right there. His kung fu is a little different than Amari Cooper's, but it's right there. He's definitely number 2 to Amari Cooper, but his footwork and his get off are monster. He can give you that dry step and then go left and then stop and go right and have a guy damn near falling down like it's a basketball crossover. So we're going to see that. And then we're going to see Jimmy deliver him the ball in, quick, throws. I think that McIdiot is an arrogant SOB and his pride won't allow him to make a deal with Jacobs. There's truth in that. But I think it also is just the mechanics of football. And if you ask me, the decision to not pay Jacobs is a strategic move to use him as long as you can and get whatever you can out of him for these cheap undercuts and then let him go find himself with someone else. And I hate saying that, but it's the philosophy that Josh McDaniels came from. Why should we expect that zebra to get spots now? It won't. You know what I mean? He is what he is. He does not value running backs. Yeah, quick release. Thank you, Eric Bell. Eric, he may worry you, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo will get him back on track. I'm starting to get confident because after we saw what Jimmy did 4 for 4 in the preseason means nothing, but he physically looked good. He physically went through the motions. He didn't look bad. He didn't look slow. He didn't look uncomfortable. He didn't look gun shy. You see what I mean? Did he command the offense? Yes. Were the snaps from center to Jimmy Garoppolo crisp? Yes. Did he have any problems with the transfer of the ball from the center to the quarterback? No. Did he call off blocking and cadences? Everything was on point. And so there's reason to get excited about what we saw in that game, even though it was just a handful of snaps. Eric Bell says that Trey Tucker is going to be a playmaker. Well, Eric Bell, he's one of those guys that has to translate what he does at practice into what he does on a field against competition. The very same thing is being said by Nesta Silvera, the defensive tackle that we have. He's one of those guys that in practice, every Raider swears by him. Max Crosby, all of them. They're like, that man's going to be a bad man. And then he goes out there and doesn't really put up much as far as the numbers on the field. You know what I mean? He's a part of a tackle here and a part of a tackle there and, a part of a pressure and a part of another pressure. And then he'll get one tackle and be off the field. You know what I mean? That's not dynamic enough. They're looking for him to get a stop in the backfield on a running back and just smash him. They want to see him knock a quarterback down, make a play when a quarterback steps up, get into the gap and slam him. You know what I mean? They want to see him make a play and he's just not doing it. Whereas you see a lot of other guys on the line making plays. Now Trey Tucker, again, great hands in practice. And one of the things that has been said about Trey Tucker repeatedly is that one of the things about the coaching staff that the coaching staff really loves about him is that he doesn't make the same mistake twice. And they said it's rare when you can say that about a young player because usually they come in and they misunderstand something or they misunderstand a call on a play or they misunderstand where they're supposed to be on the field or the actual route for that play that they're supposed to run. Is it a post or is it a stop and go or is it a comeback, 5-yard comeback, etc.? He would make a mistake in practice and then immediately go, okay. And then they would call the same play. And in the same circumstance, he would get it right and would get it right the very next time. And then he'd make a mistake on another thing. And he'd say, okay, I'm supposed to be here and do this, right? And he'd say, okay. And then they'd call the play later on and then he'd be right there. And so he tends to learn and adapt. That's something that you can't teach. You can't teach that. Guys either are smart and they get it, they make mistakes and they don't let those mistakes crush them. And then they hear out their coaching staff and get better. And you're seeing that with Trey Tucker. I think he's going to make the team. I really do. Like Proverbs says, Uncle Jim, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before the fall. Well said, little Tommy boy. They can find Jacobs because he didn't sign the tag. No, Alpha Omega, they can't find Josh until the season starts, because then whether he signs the contract or not, he's supposed to. You see what I mean? They have franchise tagged him. That means he's a Raider. The only thing that now has not made that the fact that he's a Raider officially is him signing it. So see, technically he's in a limbo he's created himself, but it's not a limbo that he can work, i.e. like, can he reach out and make deals with other teams and go into free agency? He can't. You know what I mean? And the only thing you're hearing now, very publicly, is that the Miami Dolphins made a play for him, reached out to the Raiders and said, what do you want? Because we think we're close and we need a guy like that to put us over the top. And the Raiders said, he's unavailable. Take that for what you will. Alpha and Omega, I don't think that's correct. I don't want to flat out say you're wrong, because you could be right. You know what I mean? Because I'm not positive. I didn't look up the rule book. But to my knowledge, the contract's binding because it's a franchise tag. It's not a normal contract where he has a choice if he signs it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Once they hit you with the franchise tag, that's your contract. You don't get to negotiate another one. You don't get to negotiate the franchise tag. It's an estimated total that's already, decided by a system that they've developed. I know you know this already. And so I don't think that his not signing it gives him leverage. It does in the preseason. It did in camp and things like that. You can't find him there, but that doesn't carry on into the season, because once you're in the season, it's a binding contract that he's not signing. So he'll get in trouble. Mike Ramirez. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Bear, I'm a little confused. How could Jacobs be fine if he's technically not under contract? Because he is under contract. He just hasn't signed it. You see what I'm saying? It's one of the only instances where you have the rule and the right to say, I am franchise tagging this person. The tag is a contract. You've established that he's getting it. So that means there's a contract. It's his. And he's not signing it. And he's a member of this team because he has the franchise tag, which is a contract. So see, he has a contract. He's just breaking the rules and not signing it because he doesn't have a choice. He was a member of the roster when they made that tag. He's got to go in, sign it, and play. If he doesn't, they can find him every game. If we have a top 15 defense, we will be doing 15-2. If we have the same defense of last year, we'll go 10-7. Miguel Garcia, I like 10-7. That seems reasonable. But at the same time, I think it will be 11-6 because I do think we're going to beat the Chiefs twice. I think we're going to get the Broncos twice. I don't care about the Broncos in Denver. I don't care. I think our offense will be that good. I think Jimmy Garoppolo and the way he slices and dices, I think he's going to punish teams. I really do. I just think the only thing that factors in, and we've all said it, till we're blue in the face, is his health. And I know that's easy to say. We're all just basically talking about the injury-prone guy. But God's honest truth is, if he stays healthy, he took a team not too long ago to a Super Bowl and a division championship and another division championship and a game short of a Super Bowl. So, he also gave him a full year where he couldn't play, because of an injury. So I just... Let's see. Danny Roman said Jacobs can either sign the tag or eat that box of Cheez-Its. Should I just start featuring a snack back there every other show or so? I could put some Lay's back there. I'm kind of a Lay's potato chip kind of guy. Not to be so old school, but I just like the plain stuff. I don't want sour cream and barbecue and salt and vinegar and all that nonsense. Just give me normal yellow bag of Lay's potato chips, a little bit of salt. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? That's just terrible. Denton Rhodes, I appreciate that because I wasn't aware. And I really liked him. That guy really put on a show. It's just a disgrace to lose him this early. Mike Ramirez, I'm really liking Aiden O'Connell and the linebacker Thomas. Mike Ramirez, I picked Drake Thomas the moment we picked him as an undrafted free agent. I said that this guy could make the team. I loved him. And I put it out there because you guys know that if I'm wrong about something, I'll be the first to admit it. I don't have that kind of ego. But I love that kid, just a thumper. And when you talk about the fact that you need to play the run, I mean, come on, what's the guy got to do? He had 2 Pro Football Focus ratings of 90.3 against the Niners and the Rams. The guy stuffs the run. Come on. And the only thing that's really keeping him, from definitely getting a job is that linebacker that we used to pick on. I can't remember. I think it was a 4th round pick, I think. Amari Burney. He's the only thing that might end up keeping him from being on the squad, unless they let go of the guy whose name I can't pronounce. And Robert Spillane has been great. We're going to be better at linebacker, even though we do still look a little shaky at linebacker. We're still going to be better. I'm telling you, we're going to be better. We really are going to be better. I have no doubt about it. But we need to keep Drake Thomas. I love that kid. Literal thumper. And if we let him go, someone's going to get him and we're going to regret it. You know what I mean? We're going to regret it because that guy can play the run. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys all tuned in tonight to see your boy Raider Bear. But it's that time again for me to sign out and say I love all of y'all. And we will do this again real soon, essentially like tomorrow. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, much love. Consider a subscription to Raider Bear family page. And on YouTube, all you have to do is subscribe and tap that little bell, and you're on Raider Bear Live with a reminder. Much love. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you again tomorrow night. Raider Bear Live. Peace.